All right, everyone. Welcome to lesson one. Are you ready to get started? I know I am. This is really exciting. Before we get started with the disputing process, the building of your credit, the raising of your score, the first thing we've got to do is get a copy of your credit report. We don't want to be waiting on that. We want to get our hands on it because there is some work that you're going to be doing on that this week. Hopefully, you're able to just get that right now. Now, the only way you can truly get a copy of your credit report for free is to go to annualcreditreport.com. This is the government website. Law allows you to pick this up free once a year, and it documents the actual day, time, to the second when you got that. You will not be able to get it a moment before. Now, you will be able to get just the reports. You're not going to get your score, and we'll explain to you later on why that is. But for the most part, you really don't need it now because we anticipate that score changing drastically. I'd like to see your score go up a couple hundred points by the time you're done, but really the goal in mind is about 100 points, and that's very realistic, especially if you apply everything that we're going to teach you. Now, the score is also very separate from the credit bureaus. They do not own the FICO score, and that's why more often than not it's separate. It's not that they're trying to hustle you, and even though they are here to make money off of you, they are two completely separate things. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to share the screen with you here so that you can see a copy of the website that I'm talking about. And I'm going to share some other things with you, so bear with me. I'm going to jump back and forth and show you some of the items that you're going to be able to have as you go through this course. There's a section for PDFs and downloads, and I want you to always print all of those off. Now, here we are at annualcreditreport.com. Three of the PDFs are three snapshots of the most important parts of this website, but I'm going to walk you through them right now. So later on, you can refer to the PDFs that you have. Now, this is their home screen, and you'll see right down here, request your free credit report. On the PDF, there's a little arrow that's going to be pointing down to that. So we break it down to the very simple for you. Now here, the second screen, it explains the 3 steps to getting your free credit reports, and that's how easy this is. First, you're going to fill out a form. Then you're going to pick the reports you want. There's a checkbox to the left of all 3 of those reports. Make sure you check all 3. And then you're going to request and review those reports. When you get those, and they're on your screen, I want you to save those as a PDF file to your computer. Also print them off because that's going to be crucial for the next steps here. Now, again, there's going to be a little arrow that points to your request report online PDF. Click on that, and here's the form. At some point after you fill out this form, they are going to ask you 3 authentication questions. These are questions that are very simple, but they're still ones that only you would really know. This verifies that you are who you say you are. Don't get frustrated if there are any issues. It's for your security, and so that is always a good thing. For the very few of you, you are going to stumble across some problems here, and it will prompt you to a 1-800 number. Call that person immediately. They'll send those out to you, and you'll get them within the week. That's why lesson 2 is going to be a week out, because it'll give you time to do some homework and get really acquainted with your credit reports. Now, let's see here. So when you get your credit reports, I'm going to keep sharing the screen with you here. Depending on where you get your credit reports, they're going to look a little bit different, but they're going to have the same sections in there. First, you've got your personal profile. This is your personal information, your name, birth date, your address, employer. And I'll just tell you, my information, there were a ton of errors in there, and I still haven't gone about correcting them. The reason for that is I just don't really have any interest. It doesn't have an impact on my credit score. You know, if it's misleading, it's not up to date, that's their problem. It's really not mine. The second section here, your credit summary, this starts to summarize different types of accounts that you have. Real estate accounts, judgments, civil issues. You know, a lot of you are going to have blank material there, and we can dispute those items in a like manner that we'll dispute others, but we're going to dive into those, and you can apply those same rules and skills to those sections. Now, here on this screen, you know, public records, your bankruptcies would be there. Here's your inquiries. We can dispute inquiries as well, but we'll get to that later because they really are not the most, they don't take priority right now. And then there's this screen. Here's a couple positive items, but your negative items are going to be listed the same way. We're going to come back to this screen here in just a moment. What I want you to do is what I like to do, I'm going to teach you what I like to do because it works best. I like to have 5 markers of different colors available. You know, a red, yellow, blue, orange. Pick your 5 favorite colors. It's really not important. This is for you to start seeing what's going on here. So what I would do is I would take the yellow marker first, and I would apply that for any inaccuracies on my credit report. So what I'm going to do here, you'll see, you know, Experian, Equifax, TransUnion. With this particular item, there's just one. But more often than not, this one item is going to be in all 3 categories. And what you're going to do, not categories, but credit bureaus, you're going to compare one to the next. And it is so uncommon that your 3 are going to be identical. Because they are not going to be identical, immediately you see that there is some inaccuracy involved here. Most credit reports have inaccuracies in them. If there was a perfect credit report, it would put me in shock for a couple days. It really would. And so what you're going to do is with the yellow one, you're going to mark differences that you see from one to the next. This is where federal law starts to protect you. Federal law states that if you believe an item is inaccurate or it's incorrect or something wrong with it, you're protected under federal law to dispute that item. Once the item is disputed, well, by putting that into action, you're going to get a lot of great results. Fair Credit Reporting Act is the name of that law. That's just one of 5 federal laws that are used to get these items removed. Now, what I would then do is I would take a blue marker and I would start to mark up trends. So if, let's say you've got 5 negative items and 4 of them are credit cards, circle those 4. So anytime you see blue, you know that's a trend, and that is an issue that you personally have. Some people, they'll blue all their medical bills. That shows that their trend is that they have an issue with medical bills. And we'll teach how to deal with you know, fighting and combating some of those trends later on, so that you can, you know, use that as a tool to have a higher credit score. And then use green, because it's the color of money, to mark up amounts, just so you can keep track of that. Debt is something that we want to focus on, but it's not instrumental in getting an item removed at this stage in the game. Getting an item paid off doesn't necessarily help your credit because that event took place. And just because you paid off doesn't change the fact that that event took place. Okay, so use those markers to, you know, maybe use another color to go into some of your personal information. Your name is misspelled. Do things like that. But use the different markers to really make your credit report just filthy with marks and errors and mistakes, so we can get to that. Now, here's a handout with the 3 major credit bureaus and all their contact information, so that you can have that on your own and accessible. If you have a little workstation that you're using, go ahead and just post that up. You know, really make your office look like it's serious about credit repair. Now, here we have a worksheet. You're going to use this worksheet for this round and for other lessons that we have in the future. What you're going to start doing is take all of your negative items and start to list them on this form. This is a form that I've made. It really explains things very well. So the newer accounts put here on the top, and your older accounts, older than a couple years, down here. You know, put the account name, the account number, and what you believe the inaccuracy is. Get creative. Come up with an inaccuracy. I'm telling you, they're there. Look for them, especially you know, what you took note of earlier as far as being a difference from the other credit bureaus when you compare those. Now, how this form is designed here is you don't really want to dispute more than 5 negative items at a time. If you only have 5 negative items, then you're good. But I'm going to give you the scenario of someone that has 10, and then apply that to how many items you have if it's more than 5. So if you have, you know, 6 or 10 items, you're going to split that down the middle, and you're going to do 2 separate first round disputes. And you want those letters to be itemized. And what I mean by that is, if you have a handful of medical, put all the medical on one. If you have, you know, a bunch of student loans, put all the student loans on one letter, and separate them that way. So if you have the if you have the 2 letters, you send those out maybe a week or 2 apart, but you're then going to wait 30 days for your first round to come back, okay? And when those first rounds come back, there may or may not be items on there that were not removed, and your letter will detail that out to you. You're then going to take from both first rounds what's remaining and put those into a second round letter. And we're going to get to that later on. But you want to get as educated as you can and familiar with your credit report. Become an expert this week on your credit report. There's a quiz for you that you're going to have to take and pass to get your first badge so that you can move on. But when you move on from this letter, that means you're an expert on your credit report. You can explain your credit report to anybody. And we'll use this letter here later on, but for now, that's what lesson 1 is all about, is getting into knowing your credit report and not being a stranger to it anymore. Don't be afraid of your credit report. Get control of your credit report. This is a reflection of you, and this is what we're going to change. So don't let it get you sad or depressed or anything like that, because a month, 2, 3 months from now, it's going to be completely different. Now, get through that quiz, print off all your PDF downloads, and I look forward to seeing you guys next week with lesson 2. We've got some really exciting things that we're gonna start getting into. Real quick here, you're gonna see a rise in your credit score. I anticipate that.